Changing careers is something that is not even talked about enough. I mean, the mental stress, the constant self-doubt. You're consistently asking yourself, can I do this? Can I do this? Am I good enough? Like, it's almost like the whole industry is against you. But I will know because I myself, I switched careers. I moved from one industry to another 3 good times. I started my career in the healthcare sector, BSc microbiology. Yeah. And then I worked in that sector for like 3 years, for like 2 years rather. 2 years as you know, in the healthcare sector. I worked in the hospital. I worked in the pharmacy, and then I eventually moved into banking. Yes, I know you'll be like, from where to where? And then 6 years in the banking industry, I moved. I'm currently in tech, working as a software project manager. You'll be like, how? How did you do that? Let's talk about that in this video. Oh my God, I love saying that. I know, man, it's been a while, guys. Welcome back again. If you're just seeing this face for the first time, my name is Ezine. Here on this channel, Zini's Corner, I often talk about personal and career development, videos that help you level up in your personal and in your career development goals, and sometimes edutainment videos. So if you're looking for a space where you will grow, you'll be educated, you'll be informed, you'll be entertained, while at that, this is the space for you. Please to subscribe, turn on my notifications just so you know when I drop videos. Mhm. So today we're going to be talking about a very exciting topic, changing career paths. That is something very dear to me because I am a product of switching career paths. I've switched career paths like 3 times in my entire life, or maybe like 3 major career paths and some smaller ones. But so this is something that I very much love to talk to young people about. I talk to people in my space about moving from one career to another, especially when what you're currently doing is not serving you anymore. So if you're watching this video, or you know someone who would want to switch careers, who wants to make that big move or is planning to make that big move, please do well to send this video to them, because by the time you're done watching this video, you will learn some important strategies that you can apply to your own story, or you can apply to your own life, your own career rather, and you'll be able to move from where you currently are into a new industry. So sometime today, a group of executives were having a conversation on social media, and you know this conversation, and it got me thinking. From comments, comment section of that conversation, a lot of people were really asking, how did you do it? How, oh my God, this is quite impressive. This is actually quite impressive, I must say. While this is quite an impressive move, moving from one role to another like that, you might be asking, so how will I be able to achieve that? Your situation might not be exactly like that, but with these strategies I'm about to share with you, you can be sure to apply in your own situation, and it would work for you. So let's discuss how to effectively switch career paths or change career paths, that's from one industry to into another entirely new industry. So number one, the first strategy, if you want to switch your career, or if you want to change your career, whatever you call it, would be to find your motivation and stick to it. When I say find your motivation, it could be anything. Your motivation to change your career might be because of your low pay, it might be money. That's okay. It might be to find a good work-life balance. Whatever your motivation is, I would say find it and look on to it, because trust me when I say it would get tough out there. When it seems like nobody wants to hire you because of lack of experience, or not enough experience in that industry, your motivation, the thing that motivated you to want to switch from where you currently are to where you want to go to, would be the only thing holding you on that journey, because it's a very tough mental battle to go from where you currently are, whatever industry it is, to an entirely new industry. It's tough. So find the first thing on my list would be find your motivation, whatever that motivation is, whether it's money, whether it's finding a work-life balance, whether it's finding a better career path. Find it and look on to like hold it on like your life depends on it, because really your life might just depend on it. Like your life succeeding in that career might depend on it. Okay. Now, number two on my list on changing your career path, switching your career would be figure out where you can fit in that industry you're looking to go to. What does this mean? I'm going to be giving you some practical examples in this explanation. So, figuring out where you can fit in simply means if whatever industry you're going to, let's say, for example, you're currently a healthcare worker, or you work in construction, whatever industry that is, and you're looking to go into another industry, ask yourself these very vital questions. What roles are available in this industry I am looking to move into? You can't just wake up and say, oh, I want to go into XYZ industry, and then boom, you just start applying randomly. It doesn't happen like that. That's an aimless strategy. So figure out what roles are available in that industry you want to move into. First and foremost, figure out where your already existing skills can fit into. So there's something called transferable skills. For every skill a person has, it sometimes can be transferable. Transferable skills simply means skills that you currently have, that you can still apply in another job or in another industry. For example, effective communication is a transferable skill. If in your previous job, or in your current job rather, you effectively communicate with your clients or with your stakeholders or with your colleagues, and the new job where you're going to requires you to be able to effectively communicate, this is this is an established transferable skills. So figure out what roles exist in that industry you're trying to go into. Look at things like job descriptions. This is a very important one too. Sometimes, in fact, a lot of times, people do not know what roles that they are qualified for in the industry they are looking to go into. And why is this? They don't know because they are not aware of what this industry call their roles, right? So you might be seeing a job description and you'll be like, oh, I'm not qualified, I don't know this, I don't, but you haven't even realized that this is actually the same thing you've been doing in your own industry. Let me give you an example. In your industry, you might be, let's say you are you work in a bank. Let me use the banking system, for example. You're a customer service person. Now, please note that this is an example. You can just use it to apply in your own life. So back to our example. You work in a bank, you're a customer service person in a bank, and you're looking to switch to tech. Of course, I'm using tech because I'm currently in the tech industry. But again, this is an example. You're looking to switch into the technology industry, but you were currently working in a bank, and you'll be like, oh, where am I going to where do I fit in this industry? Or you're currently working in a financial institution and you're looking to switch into let's say the healthcare sector, and you're asking yourself, oh, where am I going to fit in? I don't know what roles are available. But in the previous industry or you're currently in, you talk to clients every day, you answer calls, you take down client notes, you give feedbacks. But and then in the new industry you're looking to go into, there is a role there where these things are also done. But because you don't know that the new industry you're going into, call it let's say client satisfaction officer, or let's say customer happiness, as some big technology companies would call it. Meanwhile, in the current industry you're in, it's simply called customer service, right? So because you don't know this balance, because you don't know that in this industry you're going into, this is what this job is called. Whenever you see an opening on that role, you won't know to apply because you're not even aware that this is what the job is called. So this is what figuring out where you fit in entails. When you go to that industry, like when you find job descriptions in that industry you're looking to go into, be sure to read them very well. Know the details of each job. By doing so, you realize that these are things that you are already doing, or this is where I can fit in this industry. So by that, you are aware that okay, there's XYZ job called this. This is where I can fit into. Also, I would say learn the lingos of that industry. What is a lingo? Every industry has its lingo. So lingo simply means terminologies used by any industry. Um, the healthcare sectors would have whatever it is they say there. Doctors have a way they speak, lawyers have a way they speak. So try to learn the terminologies, the lingos of that industry, so that when you're communicating with people in that industry, when you're looking for whatever role you've identified that you can fit in, and you see those lingos, you'll be able to know that, okay, this is what they are talking about. Let me apply. All right. Does that make sense? Please feel free to ask me any question if you have any question on this topic, because this is something I'm very passionate about. So let's continue. The third strategy: start learning. Yes. When you've identified where you will fit in, start learning. No knowledge is a waste. Start learning. The best way I advise people to start learning, especially when they are new to industry or when they're new in a career path, would be start learning with the free resources available to you. YouTube, University of YouTube. I call it, like, everybody calls it the University of YouTube. There are free resources everywhere. You can find a lot of free resources on YouTube, on learning platforms like Coursera, Udemy. There are just a lot of free resources around you on the internet. Start learning, okay? Start learning, start taking small basic courses in that, in that role or in that industry you want to move into. If you want to learn the best way to take free courses versus paid courses, I made a video on it. It's on my channel. Please find it. I would do to also put the link in the comment section. Feel free to watch that video if you want to understand the best way to go out taking courses. So back to what I was saying. So start learning. Start with free courses. I usually advise people start with free courses. Why, you might ask? When you've had, when you've learned, if you're new in a space, I won't advise you to start with complex courses. Start with the very basic. It's like you're an entry level person and you're already going to do a 500 level person's course, if that makes sense. Let's say you're in 100 level, like it's like a 100 level person going to take a 500 level course. It would, like, it's complex. You're not going to understand it. So start with the very basics, which oftentimes you'll find free of charge. So when you now have a more basic understanding of what that space entails, you can now graduate into more complex courses like paid courses, certifications. I see a lot of people when they want to switch their career, when they want to change their career, they'll start taking certifications. While that might be, I mean, I have nothing wrong with taking certifications. Please don't misunderstand me. It's good to take certifications, but sometimes industry, it's better to be hands-on experienced before certification. What does that mean? Sometimes hiring managers will take someone who is more experienced hands-on than someone who just has a bunch of certifications without knowing, without any hands-on experience. So that's why I would encourage you to, first and foremost, before you start complicating your head and start being overwhelmed, start with the simple basics of that industry, of that job you want to move into. When you have a more than basic understanding of that space, then gradually you start upgrading your learnings into more complex courses, into more complex things like certifications. For example, you see people, they are currently, they're just out of school and they're going to do an MBA. Like, what are you doing an MBA for? You don't even have an experience. That's masters of business administration. I mean, that is good if you have the money, but build some sort of experience first. Or you're just out of the university and you're already going to get a master's. Get some sort of experience, real world experience here and there. That way you will know what you want to master in. Like, you're fresh out of the university and you're going to master in something. How about down the line you realize that this is not actually what you want to do? So anyways, before we digress, start by taking simple courses, free courses, and that way it also help you save money. That you're doing something free, at least for start. When you now have a good understanding of that area, you gradually move into more complex and paid courses. All right. The next strategy would be start gaining experience. Yeah, heard me. Start gaining experience. So as you're watching me, you might be asking, how do I gain experience? I'm currently doing this job. How am I going to get experience if I am not employed in that space? If I don't get a job there? Anyway, before I continue, please do well to hit the subscription button. If you're watching this video and you're enjoying it, please kindly subscribe to support this channel to grow, just so that this video can get to more people, so that they can benefit from this vital information you are getting. All right, thank you. Now let's get back. So, get experience, you would ask, how do you get experience? One major thing, or one major area people can gain experience, is volunteering. I know you may have heard about, a lot of people may have talked about volunteer, 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 volunteer. Yes, volunteering. Find a small, find time, find a small community, find some, even you can, volunteering doesn't have to be when you volunteer with all the big volunteering organizations. Even the volunteering you do in your community, or in your, even maybe your church, or in your um neighborhood, is volunteering. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're trying to move into a project management role, or you're trying to move into an operations role, and you're currently working where you're working, and you volunteer to, in your neighborhood, you're the operations person of your neighborhood. Maybe you don't even know that you're the operations person. Maybe you're responsible for everyday collating data of your neighborhood, sending out information, um, informing people of new developments in the neighborhood. Maybe there's a construction going on. You're the one responsible to send out emails or send out SMS to your neighbors to say, oh, there's going to be a construction going on. Or you're responsible for managing that carnival that your village wants to organize. Or you're the one responsible for organizing your church program and things like that. You're the one who is responsible for buying the banners, the flyers, the stickers, things like that. This is operations management. Now, if you know, remember earlier I said identifying what the job descriptions entail. Now, if you have already known that, okay, this role I want to move into, this is what they do, and you are doing that exact thing in, let's say, your community, or in your church, or in your neighborhood, it is an experience. Yes. It's not until you have that job title, you hold that job, that you can actually claim that you've gained experience. Whether it's volunteering, freelancing, something a project you're doing on your own, it's an experience. An experience is simply when you have successfully completed something. So essentially, what this particular strategy is saying is, start gaining experience. You've learned, now start putting that learning you have gained into practice. You can practice on your own, you can volunteer, you can freelance. So whether it's volunteering, freelancing, personal projects, these are experience. Don't limit experience. Experiences are not limited to when you hold an official job title. So let this be clear. Experiences are not limited to where when you hold an official job title. If you have successfully done something, or you successfully do something in any capacity, whether paid or unpaid, it's an experience. All you need to do is your ability to defend that experience and apply it to whatever role you want to go into. Does that make sense to you? When you have successfully done something, your ability to defend that task, or that experience, or whatever it is you have acquired, your ability to defend it and align it with where you want to go into, is how this whole gaining experience work. Let me give you another example. After the church example, you want to apply for a project management role, and you're the first daughter. You've been managing, organizing your parents' birthday parties. You will plan, you organize, you will sort, you will distribute, you will communicate with vendors, vendor management, stakeholder relationship. These are some things that project managers do on a daily. So if you didn't know that this is what project managers do, You wouldn't know that you, by you simply organizing a birthday party, your father's 60th birthday party, you have successfully managed a project. So that is that for gaining experience. You need to start applying all the things you've learned into whether your personal project, a freelance capacity, volunteering, like I said earlier, and just build that experience. Remember, I said experience is not only when you have the official job title, it's successfully completing that task, being able to apply the, defend the knowledge or the skill in the real world, if that makes sense. Anyway, before I continue, let me apologize just in case you're hearing my son's voice in the background. He just woke up, so please, this is why you need to subscribe, because mothers, new moms like us go through a lot to bring out content. Anyways, he's in the background. You're gonna be hearing his voice. You may perhaps be hearing his voice. Yeah, I tried my best, but let's continue. So the next strategy to apply to successfully change your career would be networking. Yes, I know people talk about networking a lot. Oh, network. Now, how do you successfully network? You successfully network not by budging people, not by coming up too aggressively to people. You successfully network with people by presenting yourself as valuable. Every human being wants people who are valuable to them in their corner. I mean, let's take LinkedIn for example. When you connect with someone on LinkedIn, do well to, you know, contribute meaningfully in their space. Do well to introduce yourself professionally, or at least in a well-mannered way. A lot of times people would connect people on LinkedIn and they're already asking for favors. I'm not sure anybody would be very comfortable to start recommending you for roles when they haven't sort of seen your capacity. Maybe some people are that nice, they can, but I bet a majority of people out there would not just connect with someone and just be comfortable to start recommending them, because recommendations are like putting your name for a person. So do well to. It's not just from LinkedIn that you network. You can basically even on YouTube here, on social media, in person, attend events that are connected to that industry you're trying to go to. Meet people, speak to people, appear knowledgeable, be confident, be polite, contribute to conversations. Don't just appear as someone who is there to take, ask. People tend to run away from people they feel overwhelmed by, people who are consistently asking. Especially network people, they don't want to surround themselves with people who are consistently asking, because the same way you're asking is the same way a lot of people are asking. So you need to find a way to strike that balance, to bring something to the table, to be valuable to them. I will give you an example. If you're networking, or if you, let's say, you're trying to find a mentor. Again, I've made a video about how to successfully influence someone to become your mentor. You can do well to look for it in my channel. I'll also see if I can put the link on this video. So if you're trying to get someone's attention, a practical thing you can do would be, let's say, follow the person, engaging on the person's tweets or post or whatever it is. Say the person puts out something, you can get that thing, read it, or if it's a post, if it's maybe a book, if maybe they're organizing something, you can reach out and volunteer to, or try to help. That way you're building your network, you're you're getting familiar with that. I know this particular one feel exhausting, because sometimes people will be like, oh, so we can't make meaningful friendships anymore, everything has to be networking. But then if you're trying to move into a new industry, a new part, you have to somehow figure out how to find people who are already there, who can at least tell you when things, like when they're hiring in their organization, when there's an opportunity available, what is obtainable in that space, and things like that. So how you successfully do that is what networking is all about. So yes, find people in that space, um, whether even if it's a paid career coach in that space, sometimes you need to take things a little, a top notch. You need to take it by force. Like you need to be more aggressive. But yeah, so network, find a way to find people in that space, be valuable to them, and watch your network grow. Who knows? Maybe an opportunity comes up, they'll be happy to refer you, or you see something in, you see a role in an organization and you've been doing all these other strategies I've mentioned, you're prepared, you're ready to apply. You can reach out to someone you know in that organization and politely, professionally ask for a referral. So this is how networking kind of puts you one step into the door. Now the last one would be patient, guys. Yes, please be patient. You are switching roles, you are going into a new terrain. It's not going to be easy. Be patient and be take it easy with yourself, right? Some people have been on a journey of trying to switch careers for 2 years. So if you apply for, let's say, one, two, three roles and you're not getting it, don't give up. Keep applying. Some people applied to, I'm not, I know the prayer is for everyone, it's that your story would not take as long as the other person's. Some people applied as much as 100 times, 200 times, even up to 1,000 applications before they got their next role in the organization or in the industry they wanted to go into. So please be patient, be easy on yourself, be kind on yourself. The market sometimes can also be oversaturated. Just recognize that it's not easy. Okay, it's going to be tough. Again, this is where you're holding on to your motivation, which I said in the as the first strategy comes in. So be patient. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. And like I said earlier, if you enjoyed this video, you know someone who is going to benefit from it, please do well to send it to them. Let them benefit from this knowledge, and feel free to leave me your questions in the comment section below. I'll be happy to read and respond. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. All right, thank you guys for watching, and I'll be happy to see you again in my next episode. Love and light.